Welcome, YouTubers, to another episode of Two Gun Terry and Friends. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite parts of competition shooting, the red dot sight, and my favorite brand, Seymour. Let's get to it.
Are you ready?
Okay, so if you've been around the shooting scene for a while, especially the competitive shooting scene, you've definitely seen Seymour sights on top of most competitors' guns. So why don't we open this bad boy up? Comes with an instruction book, cool little Seymour sticker. Let's see, some foam, an Allen key, and a couple of Allen keys, and a couple of screws in there, different size screws, and then the reason that I bought this bad boy, the actual sight. Okay, so this one is, let me get my glasses here. This one is called the Seymour Slide Ride Standard Switch in black polymer. They do make an aluminum frame version, a little better finish to it. This one is just standard, they call it. Just turn it and nothing, just feel it move up and down. But they have one that has a detent in it, and when you turn it, it clicks. Click, 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 click. Which is nice. I guess it would hold it in place. Oh, this thing's on already. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the sight is on. I'm pointing it right at the camera. I guess it's so that it doesn't move out of where you set the intensity. But quite frankly, for me, it's never moved anyway. It's just kind of a nice little feature, I guess. The windage adjustment is on the side. And you use one of the Allen keys that come with the unit, and you loosen up a screw over here. And when you loosen that screw up, it allows you to turn the adjustment, which is a regular screwdriver. So an Allen key is the lockdown on the screw, if you will, and then you use a regular small flathead screwdriver to adjust your windage. And then up here on top is the up and down adjustment. And again, there's an Allen key right here that you loosen to loosen the this adjustment. So basically what you do is you loosen them up, you sight your gun in, and then once you feel like you're locked down on zero there, you can tighten them back up again. I always try it again because I find that occasionally when I lock them back down, it may move the adjustment a little bit. So I mess around with it. I tweak it back and forth until I get it locked down exactly where I want it. And once it goes to zero, it pretty much stays there. Unless you bang it around or change something, it'll stay on zero for you fairly long. With the Seymour sight, there are two screws. In this model, again, they're called the Slide Ride, model number SRB-12. I assume the -12 is for the MOA, because I do use a 12 MOA dot. Not very accurate, the 12 MOA. If you're trying to shoot bullseye, 12 MOA won't help you. But if you're shooting Steel Challenge, USPSA, 12 MOA is pretty darn good. Maybe for USPSA, I'd probably shrink it down to a 6 or an 8 MOA. But in Steel Challenge, the 12 MOA is what I prefer. In fact, what I find is when I'm shooting, and especially here in South Florida where the sun is bright, in a brighter moment of the day, it will actually shrink the dot where you can't see it as well. And it might shrink it down from a 12 MOA down to a 6 or something. And when I was shooting a 6 MOA, which is what I originally started with, it would shrink it down to where you could barely see the dang thing. So by going to a 12 MOA, it solved that problem, especially in bright sun. Keep that in mind, because that was a big learning experience for me. To mount it to your gun, it's relatively simple. If you're going to mount it right to the top of your slide or to a bracket, there are two screws. One goes down through the top here, right behind the lens. And the other is, I believe, under this compartment. There's two little compartments here, or covers here. The bigger of the two is where your battery goes, and the smaller of the two is what's actually locking down your module, because these are interchangeable LED modules for depending on what MOA you want to shoot. So the same sight, if I had a series of a set of different sized modules, if I wanted to shoot bullseye one day, I go take out a 2 MOA. If I wanted to shoot shooting steel, I can go ahead and bump it back up to 12 MOA. You want to go shooting in USPSA, maybe I move it to an 8 MOA or a 6 MOA, depending on my mood that day. point is, same exact site, same investment in money. It's just you pay for the modules, whatever modules you want. So let's open this bad boy up. I'll show you what it looks like inside. So this is the module compartment. Once you get your sight set, you don't want to mess with this one too much. Any adjustments on this part of the gun is where you can move the dot around a little bit, so and get off zero there. Not be sighted in as well as you wanted it to be. So there's one. Here's two. They give you a couple of spare screws for that, and you can see in there. Can you see? There's the other hole right there that the second bolt would go through, or the second screw would go through. That's where the dot module is, right there. And if you want, like I said, they're interchangeable. Here's one, as a matter of fact. I bought this by itself. This is exactly the way it comes from Seymour. I think it's about 50 bucks, give or take, maybe plus tax and shipping. This is an 8 MOA dot. This was in my gun, and I switched it out to a 12 MOA for my 3 Steel Challenge guns. And this is what the module looks like. Light emitting diode shines onto the glass lens and creates your dot for you. Those little 8 prongs on the bottom here, you can see it on both sides, there's 4 and 4. What that does, that's what it'll actually go into. All right, I'll take it out. What the heck, I'm here. You just kind of wiggle it back and forth gently, very gently. Very gently. Just like that. Oops, and the module comes out. So that's my 12 MOA module. And this is my 8 MOA module. They look exactly the same. It might be color coded on the bottom. I see that my 12 MOA has an orange dot. And my 8 MOA has a clear dot or something to that effect. I hope it indicates that it's 12 MOA because I've been messing around with these and I may have gotten them mixed up, but I'll know pretty quickly which is which. On one side of the module, you'll see the I don't know, the port or the hole where the laser shoots from, or the laser emitting diode shines the red dot on the lens. And on the other side, it's just black plastic, nothing. So you want to make sure that the laser side is pointing forward or pointing towards the glass. So I'm going to take my sight, I'm going to take my 12 MOA module, that I hope is my 12 MOA module. I'm going to drop it down into that cavity. I'm going to press gently. I want to make sure that all 8 of those prongs seat into the 8 sockets on the other side. And that did. It went right in. I could feel it. When you're pushing down on it, you don't want to bend these pins. If you bend one, you're probably screwed. You might be able to straighten it out. Normally they break, so you got to be careful when you're putting it in. But that's it. Once it goes in, I set it all the way down flush. Then I take my cover and my Allen key. This is the larger of the two, and snug it up a bit like that. Take the other one and snug that one down too. You could put some Loctite on there, I guess, if you wanted to. I've never had them back out. They're tight fitting screws. I don't think that's a problem. The longer, the bigger screws that mount to your gun, I will put some blue Loctite on the end of those, just so it stays put. Okay, that's those. So let's open up this bigger compartment here. Just like that. Take the one screw out. Take the other out. This is the battery compartment. So when you need to swap out your battery, this is where you do it. 2 screws come right out, cover comes right off, and inside you can see the battery sitting there right now. The silver is the battery. And to pop it out, there's a little notch right over here, just on the top, my left, your right side of the battery. There's a little notch on top of it that I use to take my Allen key and get underneath it and just pry the battery out, because it's in there pretty tight. So once the battery comes out, You want to make a mental note of which side of this battery has a little insert and which side is smooth and flat. The insert side, if you're looking at the sight from behind, goes to your left. There are also two little orange pieces of rubber in there that apply pressure to the battery to hold the contacts tight. Make sure that they stay, and if they fall out, your contacts will be loose and might not operate as optimally as you like. So I'm going to go ahead and put my battery back in. And it is snug, it's brand new. So I put the battery back in. I'm going to go ahead and put the cover back on. When you put the cover on, there's a little indent there where the battery will fit, again holding it more securely. And there's also two beveled edges on inside the screw holes, so you know which side should be up, because the beveled edge of the screws will go into the beveled edge of the cover and give you a nice flat finish. So let's go ahead and put these back in, just like that. And again, you can put some Loctite on here, but they're not really necessary on the plastic, these coarse plastic screws. But the metal screws, the metal to metal, you would want to use some. This is, again, is the slide ride model, and it mounts right to the top of the gun. And I'll show you that on my guns in just a second. But if you have a Picatinny rail or a Weaver rail, you need to buy an adapter for it. So this is a bracket that you have to purchase if you want to mount it to a rail. It was about $40 or $45 for this little piece, but you can't do anything without it, so you got to have it. What it does, the sight will now mount to the top of this. I'm going to take these screws out. You can see that the screws are closer to my left, your right, than they are on the opposite side of the adapter or the slide or the mount. And you want to make sure that that's pointed towards the front of the gun, the shorter side towards the front of the gun. And the reason for that is because the holes in my slide here, you can see the holes here and here have to match up with these, and you can see that if you line it up something like that, that they match. That's where you want to be. So take these out for now. I'm not going to go through the trouble of mounting it. You'll get the idea, but it'll sit right on top like that. And then you go ahead and clamp down. You can go ahead and clamp down on your Picatinny rail on top of your favorite gun. There's a couple of screws here. I see you can use a regular flathead screwdriver or maybe a Allen key or star key, whatever that is there, to loosen and tighten these two clamps here, which is what will lock the gun down to your Picatinny rail. So that is just about it for, and again, it comes with it comes with that Allen key. I see that? Seymour thinks of everything. It is a star wrench. It's kind of a good sized one, but it does fit into these screws very, very perfectly. That's what they're intended for. I would definitely Loctite these. A little bit of blue Loctite on those. I mean, it holds tight. I could feel everything feels real snug and tight, but I would Loctite it anyway. But when I loosened it up, you can see that it is adjustable, so you can drop it right down on the rail where those little notches in your Weaver rail that you want it to fit onto. So that's it. Okay, with that, what can I say? Seymour sights. I highly recommend them. I don't have much bad to say about them. I had one fail one time, I will say that. The socket that holds the dot module, the bottom of it, on the bottom of the circuit board where that module, where that socket is soldered to, those solder joints broke off. And I tried to repair it myself. I didn't do a very good job. I didn't have the heart to send it in for warranty, especially after I tried to tinker with it. Oh, I promised you something. I apologize. See that? I was jumping out of here too fast. I wanted to show you what they look like on a gun. So, here's the first version of it. You've seen this gun before. If you watch my channel at all, you've seen this gun before. This is my Ruger Mark III with Volquartsen barrel, compensator, Volquartsen trigger. By the way, I always clear my guns before I do any videos. I don't take chances. Every gun I ever touched that you see on a video has been cleared. I normally don't make a big stink about the safety, but we should, about being safe. The last thing we want in our sport is to have an accident. God forbid, we don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you to shoot someone by accident, an accidental discharge where you thought the gun was empty and it wasn't. God forbid the gun discharges and shoots right through the sheetrock wall into the unit next door and hurts somebody there. I mean, who needs that aggravation? So just check your guns. Always handle it, whenever you're handling a gun, treat it as if it's a loaded gun. Finger off the trigger. My chamber is empty. No magazine. Discharge the gun in a safe direction. My recliner, which I love my recliner, so hopefully it won't go off. And it didn't. Did you hear that beautiful break on that gun? Oh my God, is this crisp. This is also a 12 MOA dot. It has the mounting bracket on here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can kind of see on the bottom of my sight that that's exactly where that bracket sits. And I just love it. So that's mounted right to my Picatinny rail on top of this Volquartsen barrel, the LLV barrel. That's one. Second one I have is my STI. You can see that this one, it's the same sight, same polymer. I figure I could save $100. It's a lot more ammo I can buy if I save that $100 and get the standard switch and get it in polymer, because I've had no problems in polymer. They come in multiple colors, by the way: red, blue, white, black, maybe some others actually that I'm forgetting. This one is mounted on my STI on a bracket, and you can see it rides up on top. Now this is not, it doesn't really ride, the slide, again this gun is clear, empty. But you can see how the slide moves under the bracket so that the dot stays still. I will say, and again on this gun, this is where this is where the bolt is, it slides, so this stays still. But I have had it on guns where the slide moves, and it moves so fast and returns back to in battery so fast that you just don't lose the dot. It moves faster than your eyes move. This is to a bracket. It's the STI bracket. 5 screws come in there, and it comes up and over. Some guys will turn these sights sideways, which I kind of like that because it lowers the sight closer to the bore axis of the gun. The sight would be down in here somewhere more than up this high. But what can I tell you? It works, you know. But for now, that's the way I have it mounted. When I get a chance, I'm going to turn one sideways. I want to see what it feels like. This one has a blast shield on the front of the mounting bracket. All the schmutz and stuff that comes out of the compensator and comes up against this blast guard here and keeps it off your sight. That's what this is all about. When you see that on someone's gun, it's just blocking the dirt from getting onto the glass. So that's that one. And then last but not least is my rifle. This is a 22, a rimfire rifle that I use in competition. And again, this one is mounted directly to the top of the receiver. So this one is without a bracket, just bang right down onto the receiver itself. I had it tapped and dyed, so I can meet the thread to match the threads, and boom, just like that. So 3 different ways of mounting it on 3 different guns, and it performs equally well on every single one of them. In fact, I'll say this, that having the same sight on all 3 guns, I'm used to looking at it. It looks the same to me no matter which gun I pick up. I'm just still looking through this dot, both eyes open, easy as punch to shoot both eyes open with the Seymours. And maybe that's why they call them Seymour, because you're looking with both eyes, and you just follow that dot through the glass. It's easy. But by having the same sight on all 3 guns, I don't have to retrain my eyes for different guns. That closes the book on Seymour. Shooters Connection has these for you at probably the best prices I've seen. Seymour sight, what can I tell you? It's reliable. It works great. The LED is bright. It holds 0. It's relatively inexpensive, $209, but it comes with the standard switch, not a click switch, and it's in polymer, not aluminum. $209.99 from Shooters Connection. That's where I just bought this one from, Shooters Connection. Thank you for stopping by, Two Guntarian friends. I'm looking forward to putting out many more videos for you. I kind of enjoy it. It's almost as much fun as shooting. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, to encourage me to put out more of them. You know, I want to know that people are looking and I'm not wasting my time. I'm getting hundreds and hundreds of views, so that's pretty cool. But I'd like to get my subscribers up a little bit more, and I guess I'm just trying to figure out how to make videos that people like to watch. So we start with the reviews, because everybody likes a good review. You will not go wrong with Seymour, so you heard it from Two Gun Terry. You tell him Two Gun Terry sent you, and they'll take good care of you, I promise. All right, guys, that's enough for now. Like and subscribe. Have a great day, and we'll see you out on the range. Take care now. So if you've been around the shooting scene for...